coming up here. He's gonna come right up on here, cruise right along inside. Right along inside here. Get up here, climb with his little claws up here, and he gets right up on that inside there. Call My Pest Pros, and we'll get rid of what's bugging you. Hi there, I'm at this house to take care of a rodent infestation. The owner's seen some sign, and well, when you've seen some sign, usually you've got a few to deal with. When I'm talking about rodents, I'm talking about rats and mice, and sometimes squirrels. The difference is the size of the hole they can get through. So the larger the access I find, the chance is they might be dealing with more than one kind. We're going to deal with it with a 3-step process. More on that later. First, let me go through this house and show you a few things about rodent infestations. We're going to start in the front. Or the back, I don't know. When you're by the water, what's the front, huh? Well, front or back, I'm taking you to the driveway because here we have a good view of what the whole house looks like. So we're going to go on top of, underneath, in and around this house looking for the access that a rodent might have. The access that the rodents are using to give this house a problem. First, I want you to notice, look at all the angles on the roof. See where the things meet one another? Well, every place where two planes meet, you have a potential problem. We need to inspect those, so we're going to go up on top of there first. You see, when you're making a roof, you do want to make it watertight, but water acts in certain ways. It likes to fall straight down if it can. Well, a rat, it'll crawl straight up if it wants to. So if something might be waterproof, doesn't mean it's rat-proof. Take this spot, for example. You see you've got one plane here and another plane here meeting. Well, underneath here, it's waterproof, but if there's a hole in there, it's definitely not rat-proof. Well, my head's not going to fit down in there very easily, so it's a good thing I've got a camera with me. I'm going to put that in there and take a look and see what I find. Now, it looks like I don't see any grease marks there. Now, that hole still needs to be sealed up because rats could use it at any time in the future if it's left open. All right, there's no sense showing you all the different joints up here, so we're going to go down and get on to the next topic. But just bear in mind, every spot needs to get checked. You know what? Ladders are the next topic. Not ladders like that. Not human ladders. Rodent ladders. When I'm talking about rodent ladders, I'm not talking about little teeny ladders. I'm talking about things that a rodent would use to get to a higher point of access. So if you have vulnerable points up above, if they don't have access up above, well, they're not going to get in. But if they have a ladder, some sort of climbing way, that's vulnerable. Walking around this house, I see some stuff right away. Sticks leaned up against the side of the house. Bamboo, that's easy enough to climb. Look at this. That's not very far to jump for a rodent. And, oh my gosh, over here in this apple tree, they don't need to jump at all. They can drop right on in. So when we're talking about ladders for rodents, we're not talking about teeny little ladders, we're talking about any kind of natural access. They're going to find their way. You know, then there's the matter of food and things that the rat can eat around your house. Well, I'm standing right in front of a barbecue. There's a lot of nice flavors that are probably found inside that grease trap inside the barbecue. Well, there might not be much to eat, but it's definitely going to be attractive for a long distance. And right over here, garbage. Just bear in mind, never let your garbage fill up so that it's got an opening. You're leaving the door open for rats. And you're saying, come on in, I got lots of food for you. It's a good place to live, right here. The other thing I wanted to show you is, well, food that you want to leave out. Well, you don't want to leave it out, really. But you might feed your cat, dog outside. Try and feed them only enough that they can eat in that one sitting, because if you leave it around, you're leaving out food for rats, and that's what they think, and really that's what you're doing. So, you see that food bowl? Well, there's no water in it. That should be, that should have some water in it. But, there's no food there, so it's not attractive to a rat. But, one thing to look for. This little board covers the access hole to the crawl space underneath the house. We need to go under here and see what's happening, because I see smudge marks here and here, and this is really not secure. So this is a prime place for where we know rats have been getting in and out. This has really got to be secured with a proper fitting board and some screws at least. Alright, there's not a whole lot of room in there. I'm going to make some preparations. I'm going to put some lights and stuff in there so I can take you inside and show you what the technician would see when they come and inspect your home. I've seen a lot of droppings and it doesn't smell too pretty. Got some spiders. Not the place you want to go. But I'll tell you what it's like. Crawl spaces. Alright, well, we're under the house now in the crawl space, and I've brought my own lighting because crawl spaces never have good lighting. And that's for good video and for good sound to that video. We're not going to use this, because it's terrible to listen to a person talk through a respirator, isn't it? So we're going to avoid that, and we're going to try to not kick up too much dust around here, because there's a lot of rat. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell you a little bit about what we look for down here. We're looking for evidence of the rodent highway that is going to be kind of formed in and around the batten insulation underneath your house, because that's where they have free reign. It's warm, it's cuddly, soft for a rat, and you know what? They have free reign all the way up and down these joists here, and they've got on-ramps and off-ramps at the edges of the joists where there is the foundation wall and pipes and things like that. They run around here like it's their home, and it is, until you kick them out. Now, over here, I'm going to show you a on-ramp, off-ramp to the highway of the Rodentville down here. It's a little place where the rat has been along the foundation wall and then kind of worked his way into the insulation and up to that area that's just below the floorboards and above this stuff. And that's the rodent highway that's down here. And we're going to go up in the attic and look at a different kind of insulation, a different kind of rodent highway that's possible. Another one that you also want to avoid. Okay, now if we look over here at the foundation wall, we're going to see where at every spot underneath these joists, well, that's an on-ramp to the rodent highway. On top of that foundation wall right there, and underneath that joist, an entrance on the left and a right. Okay, we're just about done down here. I'm going to collect my lights and return it to the dank, dark space that it was before. Only, it's about to be rat-free. Guaranteed. Okay, the next stop, that's the attic, where we'll learn about how rodent highways might actually cost you money. Rodents don't like to do their rodent business out in the open. They like to be concealed, and crawl spaces and attic spaces afford them ample opportunity to do their nesting unencumbered. We're going to go up above this garage and take a look at the attic insulation, because it's a little different than the insulation we saw in the crawl space down below. Here it's blown in. Down below it was battened insulation. Battened insulation allowed them to crawl around on top of it below the floorboards. Here they're just going to crawl around on top of it, and it has quite a different effect. This stuff's really light, and it's blown in, and it's really fluffy. When the rats run around on it, they compress it down. You can see the droppings here. Well, they've been using this as essentially a highway. When they do that, they tamp down the insulation, and they reduce its R value. When the R value is reduced, well, it's not only stinky and smelly up here, well, it's less efficient. So it costs more money to heat or cool this place.
It's really hard to see, but that's light coming in from where we looked at a hole where two planes on the roof met, if you recall. This is it from the
Once
inside.
they're up in the attic, they can pretty much go wherever they want. So it's a really good idea to get them out of here and keep them out.